That could be a possibility of artists coming together and do these things. But you see, in our country, we have pull him down syndrome. As soon as you come up with a show like that, somebody's going to bring in foreign acts and put up a festival in Palape on the same date. On the same day, then you lose out.
Yeah. Three, two, one, action. Socca Moruakgomo, welcome to the 20th Avenue podcast.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me
here. Yeah. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I can't complain, yeah.
Fresh from your European tour?
Fresh from the tour, trying to, settle down.
Yeah.
A bit of change of weather, as you know. It has been summer that side.
Okay.
And when we got here, it was a bit chilly, so
yeah.
I was down with flu for a good 2 weeks.
But you've since recovered.
I've recovered now, yeah, and we are back on doing music with the band. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. No, let's get straight into business. Just take us back in the day when you joined the BDF army.
Well, I started, I've been in the field for many years, and I started music at the age of 15, as a young singer. I think I was the youngest singer in Botswana.
Okay.
Back then, and the other youngest singer was Blondie Makene.
Blondie Makene?
Yeah, from South Africa.
Yeah, I remember.
So when they used to come and people would just want to go and see Blondie because he was the youngest.
Yes.
And trying to figure out how come he's in the music business and that sort of thing. So not that he inspired me. I was already influenced in the music business. Okay. So we went on and I was still at school then, and 1977 BDF started enrolling people in the music department. So they were teaching music, so they were sort of like recruiting young people to join the army as artists, as musicians.
Okay.
So I got interested, but one guy who went there first was the late Tsilo Baitsile.
Okay.
Who then became a reference point for all of us, because when we went there in 79, he just said, that one, you take it, yeah. So we didn't even do auditions because he knew our strength. So then we joined the army with the intention of learning how to read and write music, of which we did. But when we got there, it was a bit confusing because back then the BDF was doing brass music, like military music. So we were given instruments, and I picked the cornet and trumpet, as my principal instrument.
Okay. And
I was excelling very fast because I had a background of being a musician, And then 1982, we then formed a dance band.
Okay.
So it was me, the late Tsilo Baitsile, and the late Malombo Mereki, may their souls rest in peace.
Yeah.
And we brought in just young stars from outside, like a bass player and a drummer. And I was doubling the guitar and singing when Tsilo was singing. And when I'm singing, Tsilo would be strumming the guitar for me.
Okay.
So because we were good musicians, so we were doing a lot of cover music, from American artists and South African artists and that sort of thing. Yeah. And the band was very popular. I think because of the two of us, me and Tsilo, or me, Tsilo and Malombo. So we'll pack, our halls around the country and that sort of thing. And BDF became a very popular and household
Botswana.
Yeah, band,
Oh, what was the name of the band, by the way?
It was just a Botswana BDF band.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
Okay.
So in 82, the dance band was founded by the three of us.
Okay.
you know, and it was an addition to the military band.
Band, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we went on like that. But you see, my thing was that I really wanted to learn more.
Okay.
You understand?
Yeah.
But then, of course, people in the military, because I think most of them were coming from PMU, Botswana Police Mobile.
All right.
And these were not really musicians, you know. These were like police guys who happened to learn how to blow instruments and those sort of things. So the way the thinking was different.
Yeah.
You understand? Yeah. So they could not really contain us as musicians because musicians are different people. People. Yeah. So I was there for a good, I think 6 years, 7 years with the training. The you know, because your training was will last for a year, doing, you know, vigorous military training and that sort of thing. So from there, then you go to your respective department. So I was in that department for 6 years.
All right.
So 1986.
Right. Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah.
I just want us to go back. What inspired you to be a musician in the first place?
Okay. I think I grew up in the house of music. You know, there was music around the house, and
which music was playing by then?
Yeah, you know, music from way back. Your Elvis Presley. You know, American music. Your Dolly Parton. You understand? And songs like that. You know.
What about African musicians?
What?
African musicians. Which African musicians?
African musicians, we picked them late in the years. I was listening, you know, I started then listening to American music, American soul.
Okay.
You know, like your King Floyd, your Wilson Pickett, you know, all those guys, you know, and when I started singing, then I discovered myself.
Yes.
After listening to Nina Simone.
All right.
I'm Black and Proud. My Sweet Lord, actually. The song is My Sweet Lord.
Yes. Yeah.
And then that changed me drastically. Then I realized that my strength should be, you know, centered around African music. So I started listening a lot of American black artists.
Okay.
You understand? And then that lead me to listen to, you know, guys like from South Africa, Gori Moraba and the Minerals, you know, Chico Mukwena, you know, great singers.
Chico Mukwena and Chico Twala, is it one person?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, Chico Mukwena, those are really good singers, you know.
What about here at home? Who was trending?
Here at home, you know, like I say, back then we did not have studios. You understand? So there were few bands. I think that we only had 2 bands. It was Scaras and the Originals here in Gaborone. And they were still doing cover music. And Scaras were the first band to record Sala Emma, a song from the All Rounders.
Okay.
They recorded that Radio Botswana Studios.
Which is that?
This was way in the early 70s, I think. Yeah.
Right.
And so as we were joining the bands, we were more of like looking for a hit which was recorded or released by American musician, artist or South African artist, you know. And that's how this whole thing used to happen. But then I realized that I needed to write songs, you know. Yeah. So I started. I had a trio called Rain.
Okay.
Yeah, it was me, Maggie Tipe, and Diana Gibbs, a Canadian singer, folk singer, or folk guitar player and singer. Yeah. So we're doing, you know, your Billy Ocean stuff and you know, those songs. Yeah. But then I think I attempted about 2 songs there. And I realized that I could do better with my music.
And what are they saying at home? Because by then your age mates are nurses, doctors, policemen, soldiers, which you eventually became.
You know, funny enough, you know, being a musician, you become like you are in control. Everybody's like looking at you differently. You understand? People have all these degrees and things like, but they still get bored. They are still bored in life. So music life is it's just exciting. Just that. You know, because we don't have a much bigger population, so it does not really make money. That is the challenging part, you know. But I also realized that since I did not pursue my academic side, so I had to work hard to become a very good musician, because then this was the only thing that I can fall on. You see, yeah. So then. So when I left the army, and you know, I was gone overseas. I was in London, in the UK, for half a year.
So when you're saying you left the army, you retired?
No. I just resigned.
Resigned.
I was young to retire.
So you were just in the army for 6 years?
Yeah, for 7 years.
7 years.
To be precise. Yeah, 7 years.
So you're focusing on your music, but there's also the day job, which is being a soldier. Were you involved in any military practices?
No. The only time that I came across guns and shooting was when we were training. You know, I remember I used to tell them when we go for rifle shooting and that sort of thing, training.
Yes.
I said to them, I don't need this, it's killing my ears, I'm a musician. You must punish him and that sort of thing.
Yes.
And I was telling the truth, you know.
Even the time whereby there was that Tumzabalazo issue whereby during apartheid, whereby the Gaborone was bombed at some point.
Yeah, 1985. I was in the army. But you see, I was far from being a rifle soldier.
All right.
I was just a musician in the army.
Any famous people now who are in the cabinet or former politicians that you studied with back then?
In the army?
Yes.
Well, I think when we got there, you know, General Masire was still in the army. I think Moyempedo was also in the army. And the late Remy Rafi was the commander.
Right.
And His Excellency former Sarafina, the president, he was an assistant of Merafi, was a deputy. Yeah, so these were people that actually him is the one who sort of like gave me the support to to go on and because I was just a good musician. And also when I was there I had to train the army karate. I'm the one who introduced karate in the army.
Wow. All right.
Yeah.
So musician, karate, soldier.
Yeah.
How did this whole karate thing also start? It started in the army?
No. I came with it. My music and karate, when I went to the army, I was already a seasoned musician. I was already a seasoned karateka. You understand? So all I needed was to have a base where I can train the soldiers. And it worked perfectly. You know, so when I left the clubs around the country where they could stand on their own now, you know. Yeah.
All right. Very interesting. So 1986.
Yeah. So then 1986 I resigned. I was in London for half a year at the Royal College of Music. And then but back then London was very, very cold and depressing.
It was cold and depressing.
Yeah, you could not even see the sun.
What about the racism?
Well, you see, coming from Botswana, to be honest, the racist part, we could, you know, for us, it was neither here or there. You could not really, you know, pick or these people are being racist. Even in South Africa, I remember when I was there, way back in '83, at Commission and N Street, you know, at the karate school there.
Yes.
So we used to go to this fast food place where I would sit around with this Afrikaner, He was my instructor. Then we'll have lunch. We'll be served by a blonde woman there. And whenever he's not there, I'll go there alone. They'll tell me, we don't have license for black people.
A pass.
Yeah. So to me, I was like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Just go next door, grab something to eat. So I never really, until now, I was involved with Sarafina.
All right.
That's when I started realizing that, this thing, it was real.
It was real. Yeah.
You know.
So you go to England, you study music for how long?
For half a year, and then I went to the States.
Okay.
I think because I was looking for something, and back then in London, right in the city center, there was a big, there's a digital advertising, and you see a guy with pens holding an apple, so the big apple, New York City.
Yes.
So everybody wanted to go to the big apple.
To the big apple.
Because it's jazz and stuff like that. And I thought I could be a jazz musician. Then I went to the States, I landed at Juilliard School of Music in Manhattan. I was not there for long because one of the American guys said to me, one of the lecturers there said, hey, what are you doing here, man?
You're already seasoned.
Yeah, you're seasoned and these people are slowing you down.
Wow.
Go and play. And
which year is that? 1987?
This was late 86 into 87. Then I never looked back.
You came back home and you started your own?
No, I was in the States. I only came back home 93.
Wow.
Yeah, I was overseas. I joined the Sarafina, the music of...
You joined them from that side?
Yeah.
Okay.
I had come here for Christmas 1988, and it was my brother's wedding at the same time. So a few weeks before I came here, I had made a recording in London, 2 songs.
Yes.
So one of my songs, I had an interview with this, what do you call it? There's Bush House, BBC.
BBC.
Yeah.
Yes.
For Africa. So they played the song English Weather.
Yes.
Yeah. English Weather is depressing. That was my song. So Hugh Masekela had the song on the radio. When he was driving, and he asked John, when did I record this? John told him, John Celolan,
yes.
Said, no, it's not you, it's
not your song.
He said, Socca from Botswana. Oh, give me his contacts. And Hugh called me that night. This was 88 December.
Can you just repeat that from where saying you was driving and what happened?
Yeah. So 1988 I did a studio work with John Celolan in London. I recorded 2 songs, Wampon and English Weather. So English Weather, then I was invited for an interview with the BBC for Africa, Bush House, and they played the song English Weather. So Hugh had the song as he was driving around London on radio. So he was confused. You could hear that it sounded like him, like the trumpeting and so now he calls John and said, when did I record this song? John said, what? That's not you, it's Socca. And Hugh said, what, Socca? You hear Socca from Botswana? He says, yes. Give me his number. And Hugh happened to be the person who gave me some extra lessons when he was here, 1985.
1985,
yeah. So then he called me that night. He said, listen, the first thing he said to me, he said, congratulations, your record is very nice. I said, what record? I was confused. He said, listen, I've just listened to you. I want you tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock your time, call Mbungeni Ngema. In South Africa, there's a troop coming here. I want you to be part of that.
Yes.
And when he mentioned Mbungeni Ngema, that's when Stimela Sazola was a hit.
Yes.
And, that song, killed me. I was like, this song, it's an African song.
Yes.
Everything about the song is African. Written by African artists.
Yes.
And I was like, wow, I'd like to meet this guy. So as soon as Hugh told me about Mbungeni, then in the morning when I called Mbungeni said to me, come.
Yeah.
I remember it was a Wednesday. He says, this Friday there's a preview for Sarafina at Warehouse, Market Theatre. What? And then I went. So when I got there, Mbugeni was so excited, and we went to the show that evening. I listened and I said, who wouldn't want to be in this show?
Yes.
It was such a powerful storyline, and the music was very good.
Yes.
Then I was off to Europe with Sarafina for 4.5 years.
And you
One
working
Mandela,
every day?
Yeah, working every day. We had 8 shows a day.
What?
A week.
Yeah.
We play Tuesday 1 show, Wednesday 2 shows, Thursday 1, Friday 1, Saturday 2 shows, Sunday 1 show, Monday rest, Tuesday back.
And that was the money. I'm sure, since it's a...
Yeah, I know it was paying very well. It was paying very well, and I think some of my monies are invested on recording the album What's Happening.
Okay.
Yeah. That's why I finished 3 songs in Holland and 3 songs in Paris.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I had done 2 in London. So that it was a mini album of 8 songs. What's Happening?
But how was the experience, Sarafina experience? You're performing every day to a large crowd.
It was
exposure.
It was just amazing. Apart from performing the show was very good. Then you would expect a good turnout. People coming to see the show.
Yes.
Yeah. But over and above that, it was the storyline. Yeah, which was very, very powerful. About apartheid life and how blacks were treated and that sort of thing. So that really made me a very strong artist, that I should never ever think of myself as just a musician, but I should look at the region and the world and write songs about that will make sense to other people in different countries. You understand? Yeah.
How was the pop culture, Joe? Though around that time, the pop culture.
It was still very strong. Even now, I mean, pop in the UK and America. The good thing about the whites is that they respect their music.
Right.
You understand? And they're good at pop, rock, blues, everything. That you still get full houses.
All right.
And pack the festivals and stuff like that. So it was good.
All right.
Yeah.
Just before I ask you about music and politics, I just want us to go back to Hugh Masekela. It was one of my favorite, actually.
Yeah.
I actually bought his book and everything.
Oh, yeah.
So in his book, he tells me that he suffered from drug addiction for a very long time.
Very, very long time.
For a very long time.
Yeah.
So in not that I want you to badmouth him or anything, but you also, as someone who was his peer, were you not exposed to that same
No.
substance?
Yeah, he wouldn't want me. Yeah, he'd always say to me, stay sober. Don't even try. And I said, one thing about Hugh is that he was a gentleman. He was a father. He was a caring uncle. He wouldn't want to influence people in a bad way, especially when you are young. You understand? And when he sees the potential in you. It's unfortunate that he got caught up in that situation at an early age in South Africa. And when we went to the States, in America can make you or break you.
Yes.
So he was also exposed to these things, which then really he was so hooked for so many years. But he looked after me, and he liked that. I remember when we one morning we had breakfast in Vienna, Austria, at his hotel room, and he said to me, Socca, we should record together and see whether people will be able to tell who is who. Yeah. And we did a song called Miss the Flight.
Miss the Flight.
Yeah, it's a collaboration, me and him. It's in my album, Kalahari.
Okay.
Kalahari album.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
we playing trumpets there, me and him. And
no vocals, just trumpets.
Yeah, it's fireworks.
It's fireworks.
Yeah. So yeah, he was a very nice man. May his soul rest in peace. And I think he disappeared young. He left this world while there was still a lot which was expected
from him.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. Carrying on, you spoke of Sarafina. You were put through by Hugh.
Yeah.
He was also what are they called? Umzabala's musicians. Struggle musician.
Struggle,
Yes. Were you at some point influenced by struggle musician, looking at the fact that you had a military background and you are African and things were happening in Africa?
Yeah. I was already, when I joined Sarafina, that was the turning point of me as somebody who could not see beyond the other side of the road. I started opening up to struggle songs and interacting with the musicians. Like, Mbungeni is a school, himself and Brayu and Jonas Gwangwa and all these guys, your Kefa Semenya and Bojabu Kanyile, we were all growing up together.
Okay.
I remember, I'm one of the person who told Jabu Kanyile that stick to this voice, this Zulu kind of singing.
Yes.
It's gonna make you a star. You'll go places. And when we were touring Europe in Sarafina, Jabu became a hit.
He was part of the ensemble.
No. He was with Bayete.
Oh, Bayete. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
He became a hit.
You
understand?
Right. Yeah.
And I said to myself, well, at least I contributed.
Yes, you did. Yeah.
Because back then people were more into wanting to sing like your Lionel Richie and the American kind of musicians.
Yeah.
So you needed someone to say, hey, stay home.
Stay home.
You are okay with what you have.
You reminded me of Blondie and Papa.
Yeah, Blondie and Papa. Blondie and Papa, actually, my friend there was Papa.
Okay.
Papa, we were very good friends. Even when he was in Gaborone, he'll come to our place and we were very, very good friends.
All right. So everything is happening. How's the music scene back home in Botswana? I understand around the same time there was the Kalahari band also, which was rocking around Gaborone.
Yeah, Kalahari was formed by Hugh in 1985.
Yes.
You see, that Kalahari band came from the band called Mother, which I happened to be a lead vocalist for the band.
Okay.
Mother. It was me on the vocals, Sello Bokhatsu on drums, the late White Kopo on guitar, Aubrey Woki on bass. Before Aubrey, it was Elvis Mpire on bass. So back then, music, it was only 3 guitars. And some young guy was called, he also passed on a few years ago, I think in 2012, Metla Wahile. He was from Mahalap, he was on guitar.
Okay.
So it was 2 guitars and bass and drums, and we all sing.
Okay.
But the music was tight. Today you can't do that. You want to have keyboards and that sort of thing.
Drums and everything.
Yeah. So then before Kalahari, the band was called Mother. Yeah. So yes. I left the mother going into the army. So it means now the singer was not there. You understand? And so things started shaking.
Yes.
And then Brahu, because they came to Lesotho for a concert, and that concert was cancelled because they thought malaria was going to start spreading. I don't know for what good reasons, but this is what the South African regime was, the excuse they were coming up with.
Okay. But they're not scared that black people get more empowered because there's Brahu, there's Miriam Makeba.
Indeed, maybe also that.
Yes.
So then Hugh, for some reason, he visited Jonas Gwangwa in Botswana. So while he was here, then they organized a gig at Gaborone Club.
Gaborone Club.
Yeah. So the band that could provide backing was Mother.
Your band.
Yeah.
In your absence. Now.
In my absence, I was in the army.
Okay.
So Hugh rehearsed that band, and then they did that gig. I was there at the gig. It was well attended, and he went back to the States.
Yes.
And he promised the guys that he will come back. Then when he came back, and the band started now changing the name from Mother to Kalahari. This is how Kalahari band came about.
Okay. And after now you're friends with Prayu, he has taken you to America, you're with Sarafina, which means that you're one of the first musicians in the country to gain international exposure. It's you and
John Sololwane,
Yes.
Yeah, but you see, John was with Prayu, me, I was with Sarafina, which the show was different because it was a theatrical kind of performance, and like where you'll pack, the theater world, literally all over the world.
Performed all over the world.
All over the world, The only place that we didn't go to was Russia.
Okay. So you're a young man, I'm sure you're still in your 20s, performing across the world, meeting different type of people.
True, man.
Different women.
Different everything.
Let
me tell you, because when I went, I remember the first person that I was introduced to was Khama, the trumpeter, in Vienna, in Austria, by Hugh Masekela.
Okay.
And we hooked up with Khama. He even offered me scholarship at Berkeley School of Music in Canada, in Boston. Yeah.
All right.
And then from there I was meeting everybody. I also met Billy Cobham, the guy who introduced the double bass drum.
Okay.
Yeah. One musician, American musician. And then your Herbie Hancock, the pianist, American pianist. Your Al Jarreau, the late Al Jarreau, the OJs, everybody. I met everybody.
Did you meet what's his name? The late Marvin Gaye?
The late Marvin Gaye, no, that one I didn't.
Because I remember
he was gone by then.
I remember at some point he was telling Prayu to stay away from drugs.
Yeah, but he was in drugs as well.
He was in drugs as
well. And I would have loved it because by the time I left, I was already doing his songs like Sexual Healing. That was the very last release.
One of his last releases.
But it's sort of like Let's Get It On.
Yes.
What's Going On. We're doing those songs.
All right.
But
now, Socca, how do you manage to stay disciplined? You are traveling across the world at a very young age, and there's a lot of what can I say, like misleading things that can just take you, steal your soul. How do you manage to stay firm and be like, no, this is my
because
direction?
already my background was martial arts. I was already a karateka and a trumpeter, and when I was studying music, I remember we had the music director was an Indian guy who said to us, somebody who is blowing wind instrument, you are not supposed to date.
All right.
Yeah, you don't kiss women because they will mess up your lips. And also he also said. Because sometimes you'll be sitting like this, He says you will have big balls, You must learn to sit properly. You understand? Yeah. So when I left, I was matured in that way, and I think training helped me to breathe from within. You understand? Because of vigorous performances, and normally musicians sleep until late. So I'll wake up to the gym and work out, and I'll feel very, very light and wanting to do more of. I won't miss the first appointment of the morning. So this helped me to stay focused.
All right.
Say no drugs because I was more concerned about my vocal ability, and more concerned about improving as a trumpeter. So that helped me,
All right. Speaking of which, is this the reason why you inspired to open one of the first private gyms in the country?
Yeah.
Right.
Because when I was there, I remember I had a meeting with this American white rock musician, Michael Bolton.
All right.
And he said to me, we were in the same hotel in Paris, and he said, let's meet at the gym. 6 o'clock we will be at the gym with my band. So come there around 7:30. We can have tea.
All right.
In the gym. Wow. So some people enjoy life. And when I got there, I found the guys sweating, training, and I said, this is the kind of life I would want to live. You understand? So that helped me, you know, and looking at, you know, fitness places overseas, then I thought, when I come home, that would be one of my contributions, you know, to put up a gym and open up an academy, karate academy, teach, because I was already advanced. I trained in Japan. I got my third dan in Japan in 1990.
Black belt.
Yeah, you know, I was a Botswana chief instructor, country chief instructor. I would take the karate team around the world for world competitions and stuff like that. So I was already at another level, and this really helped me to stay away from drugs, women, alcohol, and you know, all those things.
So you've been sober ever since you're born?
Yeah, I've been sober. I know how to drink. I drink, but I don't get drunk.
Okay. You drink in an artistic manner?
Yeah, I drink at my house when I'm, you know, having a good meal. You know, it can have a red wine, or whiskey with lemonade and some ice cubes and that sort of thing. Just a glass.
Okay. All right.
Not more than that.
Not more than that.
Yeah, but you'll never see me in a bar drinking with people or at a spot.
No.
I do it privately.
All right.
And quietly.
Yeah. No jazz music in the background?
Well, there will be music. It's always music. I mean, if you come to my house at the farm, there's so much music.
Actually, to speak of it, what does Socca Moruakgomo listen to?
I listen to everything under the sun, except for myself. I don't listen to myself.
You don't listen to yourself?
Yeah, but I listen to other artists. Even local artists, I have their collections and I listen. And, but I'm classically trained. That's my background. Yeah. But I listen to all sorts of kind.
Speaking of which, your story goes back to 1976, right? And you're saying that music in Botswana was at its infantry, and then it grew.
Yeah, it grew up.
With ambassadors such as you and Selolwane. Currently, our musicians, they're suffering, if I can say so.
Yeah.
They're suffering, they're not cashing in from their craft. What is it that is missing? Because the music industry, it's almost 50 years old. And it is people are trained.
Yeah, I think what is missing is it's self-confidence, you know. Musicians, especially Botswana musicians, they believe in, you know, handouts, you know, that sort of thing. They want to wait for a government gig, you see, and they don't do music independently and taking it as a career and taking it to another level. But they are very good. Now the problem again is that today you can record music from, even here you can make a record, you see. So they missed the time of record companies where a record company will sign you and put a budget behind your album. That this album we're going to release it for, it's going to cost $500,000 to release it. You understand? And you have been signed with that company, which you are paid a certain amount of money, as well as sales from your records.
Yes.
So they missed all that. So when there's a late 90s or early 90s started, that's when the record labels were dying off. So everybody is doing music, even with one finger, kukuku on the piano, on the synthesizer, you know. So, but I don't know. There is a lot of you know, talent there. There's a lot of talent which can be, you know, focused and make sure that musicians make money as musicians, because again they bring in foreign revenue in the country.
Yes.
They market the country and that sort of thing. I mean, music will always be music. Understand? And unfortunately, it's only our country that does not really respect its artists. But when artists coming from across the border, Botswana will go and flock there.
Is it a question of saying we as Botswana, we don't like and appreciate our Socca Moruakgomos, our V's, our Francos?
Yeah. I think there's something wrong there. I don't know. But, it's a question of even the government never invested in the arts. Like where you say, I mean, some of these countries, like I remember I attended a workshop in Malawi some years ago. Mm-hmm. But one of the presenters was saying, from Mozambique, he said, the government had to make sure that for the whole year, there's no foreign music played in our country, no foreign artists coming in. Mm-hmm. We had to listen to our own music until we appreciated our own music. Mm-hmm. So unfortunately here it's a free trade. So nobody can say to you, no, you cannot do this, you can do this, no.
But with artists such as you, had a song with Hugh Masekela. Hugh Masekela had a meeting with Michael Bolton in a gym.
Well, like I say, one, we don't have the numbers here. Mm-hmm. Botswana culturally, we like music, but it's nothing that to write home about. They know that Socca is playing there, but the guy would rather go to the cattle post. Mm-hmm. Or rather go to the wedding and miss that gig and that sort of thing. So then as a result, you end up playing for empty halls. Mm-hmm. So it becomes expensive for you as a musician because you have to engage artists and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And now, Kalebala, lately now the trend is that professional musicians like us, where you'll have a band and playing instruments, this corporate, they don't want that. They want somebody who will come and sing with a backtrack.
Yes.
Because it's easy just to do it. But they don't realize that they're killing the arts. Because I create employment here. I'll have a 5 or 7 piece band. And I put food on the table. So if you take that gig away from me, what happens to the rest of the musicians? That is why people go into drugs and out of frustrations and things like that. That is the reason.
But what advice can you give to a young musician? You've traveled across the world, you've met the best of the best, you've been exposed to everything.
To be honest, just, it's always good to be yourself. Love what you do. Spend time doing it to the best of your ability. Make sure that you don't get derailed by other means of life. Don't stay away from drugs and things that could tarnish your profession. That is the only way. Then the rest will fall in place.
Okay. Speaking of young people, what do you think of the current sound of young people? Hip hop, amapiano, in the early 90s with Kwaito, there's house music.
To be honest, I like some of our young people, singers. I like Amantha Brown, you understand, young as she is. I like Hansi, you understand. I like Khoisan, there are quite a few of them, but just to name a few. Because these are very traditionalist artists. You understand? They care about that traditional. They sing in their native language. And that's what the world wants to hear. You can't go there and try to sing like Americans. I mean, we're just coming from a European tour for the whole month. And I was singing Lefatse, you understand? And people were like, wow, this is good music. Yeah. Despite the fact that the song is in Setswana. But music, brings people together. So stay original, be original, then you'll make a difference in the world.
And the music producers now, they don't use what you call live bands in the studio. They just use the digital platforms, plug in everything. a song is out. Back then, you guys used to be booked for studio sessions.
Yeah.
How is this affecting the music industry?
It's also affecting the music.
Mm-hmm.
But you see, we still have, I mean, my last album, which I did a few years ago, is called Destiny.
Yes.
It was produced by Themba Mkhize.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, it was played live. And I mean, I had all live musicians playing live and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
All this digital stuff is with these young stars and things like that. And it kills them. Mm-hmm. Because when you try to now bring them to perform live, they get lost.
They get lost.
Yeah, because music, you know, we can easily tease you with the way we play. Mm-hmm. To make you realize that you are not a good musician. But something programmed, it's just one way. You know?
Straightforward. Yeah.
So yeah, taking that gig away, that session from the artist, it's also not a good thing. I remember when the time of Bill Ocean, when he was a hit, the going gets tough.
Yes.
You know, the song was recorded, it was programmed. Do ba da da do 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 do. That was a bass synth.
All right.
You understand?
All right.
But the English quickly, this was in the 80s, said no more programming. We want live playing. We want to hear the person and listen to the person playing instruments. You know. So yeah, that was phased away. That hence now you still see. You find bands like your Rolling Stones on tour.
Yes.
You know, there's guys from way back and
yes.
in the 70s.
Yes.
But they still pack halls and stadiums.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Talking of packing halls, I just want us to take it back in Botswana. Late 70s, 80s. How was the festival scene like?
It was amazing. I remember we had a show here, an annual festival called Monati Sukiri. Yeah.
All right.
That festival was like, you know, it was well attended.
Where was it?
It was normally the last one that we did was at Bupuso.
Okay.
You know, but on the outside.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Uh-huh.
You know, and when you go to the stadium, festivals, packed. You know, people love music, but I think there's something that we don't understand. It could be that you always have to have foreign acts.
Yes.
To spice it up. Like you see now, lately there's some young lady called Makazi.
Yes.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I believe she's a hit.
Yes, she is. Yes.
You know? But when you listen to the music there's nothing to write home about. Really nothing. You understand?
Uh-huh.
But there's just that magic that makes the whole thing excite people, and she got that support like that. But the most unfortunate thing with this artist is they don't know how to invest. In no time she won't be getting all these gigs, and you find that there's no money. Problem with artists is that we lack fame. You know, sleeping in hotels, being chauffeured in a BM or Mercedes, you know, good life, but you don't know where the money is going.
Ish.
You don't know where the money is going.
Ish.
You just put in your hotel and you think. I saw in the 80s. I in London. I attended Mahlatela Queen's Hotel in Mahlatela and Mahlatin. Full house, white audience. And they also came to Paris.
Yes.
And they came to our show, Sarafina, and we attended their concert. At the end, when he died, he was a pauper.
Aish. After filling up venues and stuff.
This is the problem with artists.
Aish.
We don't understand the business part. You understand? You just want to go on stage and perform. That's what we do. Yeah.
Aish. So back then, like, would events get picked with just a local lineup, or would also needed like a foreign act?
No, and foreign artists. There will always be foreign acts coming in. I remember back then, Ganait was Bo, the girl Brenda Fassi. She was a hit, you know, and they used to bring up the numbers.
All right.
Yeah, and we happened to be part of that festival, playing the festival as well. Yeah.
And local acts, which local acts were like?
Hit.
Yes.
I
Sorry.
can't remember really. I remember the bands were Afro Sunshine. You know, that was the only band, and there was Khama, which was just a young and upcoming band. Yeah, and maybe we didn't have many of solo artists. It was only bands.
All right.
Bands, yeah.
All right. And back then, there was only one radio station.
There was only one radio RB station, Radio Botswana.
So it was difficult for local artists to penetrate.
Well, even then, they were not releasing records. You see, we started recording late 90s. I remember Afro Sunshine did a mini album. The album was called Afro Sunshine. It was good music. You know, and the band, Sam Mangwana came. You understand? He's the one who wrote that song Afro Sunshine.
All right.
And he shaped it for them.
Who's that?
Sam Mangwana.
From Zim?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know, is he from Zim or
Malawi?
Well, Malawi, I think he's from Malawi.
All right.
Sam Mangwana, yeah.
Okay.
So those were the rumba guys.
Okay.
He introduced rumba here. Yeah. So that band was tight as a band because back then, we believed in forming a band. You understand? I think I could have been the first one to go solo.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah. So then from there, then people start coming up, and there's young girls, Puna in them.
Yes.
They used to be my backing vocalists and stuff. And today the household names, yeah. And they sing very well. Actually, our ladies sing very, very well.
No, that's
extremely
very true.
well. Yeah.
Likes of Keroma, Puna, Nunu.
Yeah,
No. Yes.
Yeah, they sing extremely, extremely well. But like I say, you see, it's just a question of population. Really, if they really want to make it, or if we really, really seriously want to make it, we must just leave.
Leave the country.
Yeah, we must just leave the country. Otherwise, it's just going to be like this.
Yeah.
And age is catching up with us.
But I think it's not really a numbers game. If you're making a good product, see how people fill up the stadium when there's these festivals. Imagine all those 20,000 people, they buy your CD.
But now you can no longer sell CDs. CDs are not have been discontinued.
Yeah. Also, they can download your music online or attend your own events.
Yeah.
If you host an event and then you have the women of jazz there, you have your VMPs and stuff like that.
Yeah. Again, that could be a possibility of artists coming together and do these things. But you see, in our country, we have pull him down syndrome. As soon as you come up with a show like that, somebody's going to bring in foreign acts and put up a festival in Palape on the same date. On the same day, then you lose out.
Yes.
So that is the problem.
Yes.
Because like I say, we don't have really a population that could sustain us from the entertainment point of view.
All right. Before we conclude, I just want us to touch on one or two things. Yeah, people know you as a musician, and then they don't know that you're also a theater director. You recently, a few years ago, you had a play that was
Moruakgomo. You knew about it?
I was there.
You were there, right? You were there with me.
Yes. From the rehearsals up to when it was played on stage. So is this is your involvement in Sarafina, did it play a role in you?
Indeed, it did. It did play a role to try and open up myself as an artist in the sense that I could actually produce a musical. You understand, write for other people and groom them in different parts and stuff like that. Hence, Moruakgomo, the music of tragedy. I mean, that was a hell of a show. You understand? So yeah, so I did that. Look how that show just died a natural death.
Yes.
A show that could have made a hell of a difference. And right now we still have these rituals
taking place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was the storyline.
Yeah. Inspired by the Socca story.
Yeah. You know. So yeah. So I did all those things back then. And I wish I could do more. I still want to do musicals and things like that. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And then earlier on you mentioned that you're a karateka. And people don't know that you're on a black belt, 6th Dan.
Yeah.
This is not just an ordinary level. We're talking
it's the highest level. Yeah.
Chuck Norris, Bruce Lee type of levels.
Yeah. I happened when I was overseas. You know, two things that I was doing was my music and karate. And I was trained by a Japanese instructor who invented his own technique,
which is
Mr. Kimura. You know,
the technique is called.
His style was Shukokai.
Shukokai. Okay.
From Shitoru in Japan. The original is a style or body Shutoru. So Shutoru had babies like your Shukokai, your Hayashiha, your Kufukan, your Bishinken, you know, and so forth and so on. So Master Kimura was based in America.
Okay.
So I went to his school of karate while I was there, you know, from 1984, 85, 86, 87, 88. Then I took a break on tour. I was already at the highest level. And then I went to Japan. He recommended me to go and train in Japan 1990. Sarafina was in Japan.
Okay.
So I trained there for half a year, and I was graded to 3rd Dan black belt by his master.
All right.
Yeah, in Kobe. Yeah, Japan, Kobe. Yeah. So karate and music, have been always, supporting, each
complementing
other.
Each other.
Complement each other is right the word. Yeah. So, so I never stopped. And I was the first Botswana to open a karate school. Right now I have, 2 academies.
Okay.
One in Gaborone and the other one in Mahalape.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
and any prominent karatekas that you've produced over the years?
A lot of them. The guys that you see today, most of them are trained by me.
Okay.
A lot of them.
Yeah.
You know, so, and all the styles, most of them are from Shukokai.
They're from Shukokai. All right. So how do you get to balance, like, you have 2 schools, you have a band, you're supposed to perform, you're supposed to record, how do you balance it?
You just make time. You know, the busiest person is the one who knows how to make time.
Okay.
I can tell you that just yesterday, Mondays and Wednesdays, I teach in Mahalape.
Okay.
You know, I just take a bus to Mahalape and teach.
Okay.
And come back here.
Mondays and Wednesdays?
Yeah.
A return trip?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
That is if I'm not at the farm.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So you're into farming also?
But I had to be here because yesterday we started rehearsing. So after the rehearsals, I took 2:30 bus to Mahalape. 4:30 I'm teaching.
You're teaching.
To 6 o'clock. 6:30 I'm on the bus coming back.
Yeah.
8:30 I'm here. The following morning, 10 o'clock, I'm at the rehearsals band.
Hey, that's a well-planned schedule.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah.
Before I conclude, there's something very important that I want to ask you. I'm not going to mention names due to respect, out of respect. We've had a lot of our artists who shined over the years.
Who shined? Yeah.
Some are your age mates, some you performed with back then. And they've, however, gone through the most financially. And there's no one assisting them, be it relevant stakeholders and stuff like that. How do we as a community get to meet together and assist such people?
But I don't know who you're talking about. That's the problem.
Nah, it's
know,
out of respect.
You never
respect.
know who is not doing well there. But you see, it's life. Life has ups and downs. You know, you go down. You know, pull yourself up. You understand? Never, like I said earlier on, never ever wait for handouts. You know, be yourself. You know, see what you can do. You know, but Khama, you don't just die off. You know, so
Yes.
I think people should just face life wholeheartedly and work and be the best.
And now we have 4 radio stations, 3 TV stations. How has this improved the music scene?
It has, because now I know of a fact that one of the radio stations is giving, I think it's Cape Savan, is giving at least 90% of airplay to the local content. So that alone it's something. You know, it's improving the music. But you see, that has to be supported by events.
Yes.
You understand? If we're just going to depend on the radio stations playing your music without performing, eventually they'll face that song out.
Yeah.
Yeah. There must be a lot of activities, you know, festivals and artists playing and that sort of thing. Yeah. So that is good.
Okay.
What is not good is that I hear Duma. I don't know what they're paying now, but it's like they were not paying artists royalties because they feel or they promote local content.
All right.
I mean, you don't want that. You know?
Yeah.
You don't want. If you play my music and you're not paying me, you can't say you're supporting me.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then people record music from your radio stations for free.
For free. I used to manage one artist, and I asked for an interview at one local radio station. They said that I should pay for that interview.
There you go. But you don't pay for the interview. They actually pay. They have to pay you
For playing your music.
Yeah, for playing and for interviewing you. When I was interviewed by BBC, I got a check. They sent me some pounds back then. And I was like, where's this money coming from? When I called London, they said this was for your interview.
Wow.
Yeah. Overseas we get paid to be interviewed. Not the other way around.
Not the other way around. No, next time when you come here, we'll just give you a small check.
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So what's next for Socca Moruakgomo? Like what's in the pipeline?
Yeah, it's the recording. We are going to be doing the New Dawn album before the European summer tour next year. It will be released. I'm actually starting to put music together for that.
All right.
Yeah, and I'm also discussing some of the African good songs of the yesteryear with the authors around the world.
Okay.
Let me rearrange the song and release it. Yeah, so I'm preparing for that. Apart from your normal gigs and stuff like that, but that is a big project which is going to also bring in some other artists. Like there's a guy that is gonna work with me from Sweden. Yeah.
Okay.
Originally he's from Malawi.
All right.
Yeah, he's based in Sweden. So we are working on these collaborations. I'm also trying to manage the band, make them strong and so that they understand how to work as a band.
As a band.
Not just musicians coming in and play.
Okay.
But blending as a band.
What about youngsters that are interested in collaborating with Socca Moruakgomo?
Yeah. Anybody, my door is open all the time. I love that. I'd love to do music with other people that I feel they make sense. Yeah, and we'll do it. Yeah.
Any book coming up? Book.
Yeah. I'm working on the memo. It's good that you ask that. I think this also will be will be launched next year sometime.
All right. You're the one who's writing it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think my own life story will be told in a book form.
In a book form. All right.
All right. So we putting that together overseas.
All right. All right.
Yeah.
All right. In closing,
Yeah.
what would Socca Moruakgomo want to be remembered for or as?
You mean when I'm gone? Well, this is why I continue to do the good thing. I want to be a good person. I want to be a good mentor. I want my work to be used by other people. I'm leaving the legacy that is not boring. You can see that when I started karate, today Botswana is one of the best in karate competitions and things like that. So that legacy is continuing. So I'm leaving that seed which should continue to grow by other people. You understand? So yeah, that is what keeps me in shape and focused. That whatever I'm doing, I'm not doing it for myself. I'm doing it for the next generation. Okay. Yeah.
All right. I just want to ask you one thing.
Yeah.
How come you jazz artists, you call each other bra Repi, bra you, bra Socca Moruakgomo?
It's coming from brother. It's a respect. Hello, really artists like calling each other my brother. Hello, my dear brother. And so you shorten that for bra. Yeah.
It's not disrespecting.
No. It's bra. It's like you are a bra. It's respect. If they call you that. Otherwise they will say uncle, and who wants to be called uncle? You understand? It's a respect kind of a thing.
It's a respect kind of thing.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Okay, no, bra Socca Moruakgomo. Thank you for sitting down with us today.
Thank you.
We're hoping to have this conversation again when the book is out.
Yeah.
We review the book and then we have a similar conversation.
That would be very nice.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Thank you for being there, Dimisani.
Yes,
I've known you for many years.
Yes, sir.
You've just reminded me of Marati.
Yeah.
So it shows that we come a long way together.
Yes.
And you are the people who should take the story to the people.
Yes, indeed.
You understand?
Indeed.
Without you, nobody will know us. We will even know what we've been doing. So you play a major role in what we are doing.
Yes.
So
yes.
I respect you for that.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.
All right, cheers.